parents' lawyer sent me one document after 2 years of no contact. I read it and burst out laughing. 2 years of silence. No calls, no texts, no birthday cards, nothing. I went no contact after Thanksgiving 2022. And honestly, the decision made itself. My dad stood up at dinner, tapped his glass, and toasted my brother for 10 solid minutes. Talked about his sales numbers, his new house, his fiancée. Mentioned me once to ask if I'd remembered to close the garage door when I pulled in. I sat there for another 2 hours, ate my turkey, helped clear the dishes. Then I drove the 4 hours back to my apartment, and I just never called them again. They never called me either. So that was that. I won't pretend it didn't hurt. It did. But after a while, the silence started to feel less like a wound and more like a room with the lights finally off. Quiet. Mine. I got a promotion at work, paid down debt. Adopted a cat named Gerald who has no respect for my sleep schedule but is otherwise perfect. I built something that felt like an actual life, and my parents weren't in it. Most days that was fine. Then 3 weeks ago, a thick envelope showed up at my door. Cream-colored, heavy stock, law firm return address in the upper left corner. Whitmore and Associates, family, and estate law. I stood in the hallway and stared at it for a full minute. My first thought was that someone had died. My second thought, once I noticed it was addressed to me specifically, was that I was being sued. I opened it standing at my kitchen counter. 12 pages, stapled. Cover letter addressed to me by full legal name. I read the first paragraph and frowned. Read it again. Then I got to the second paragraph and started laughing. It was an itemized bill for my childhood, line by line. Diapers and formula for the first 2 years. Clothing allowance, broken out by age range. Medical and dental, estimated annually. School supplies, kindergarten through 12th grade. Extracurricular fees, which I found particularly interesting since my parents had refused to pay for debate camp my junior year and told me it wasn't in the budget. A proportional share of their mortgage, calculated by square footage of my childhood bedroom, multiplied by 18 years. Total amount owed, $47,000. Payment expected within 60 days. Failure to comply would result in further legal action. I had to sit down on the kitchen floor. Gerald climbed into my lap. I kept laughing. I called my best friend and read the whole thing out loud. She said it had to be a joke. I said I genuinely didn't think it was. She told me to call a lawyer before I did anything else. I did. Found a family law attorney named Rebecca, who had good reviews and an office downtown. I sent her photos of the document that same afternoon. She called me back within the hour. She said the demand was completely unenforceable. Parents cannot bill their adult children for the cost of raising them. It isn't a debt under any legal framework. She said the letter was almost certainly designed to intimidate me into contact or payment, and that the best response was a formal letter making clear I knew that. She drafted one. It thanked the firm for their correspondence, explained in precise legal language why the demand had no merit, and noted that if my parents chose to pursue the matter, I would be countersuing for harassment and frivolous litigation. It also suggested professionally that their attorney advise them to seek family counseling instead. We sent it certified mail. I heard nothing for 3 weeks. Then I got a call from my aunt, my mother's younger sister. She said she needed to see me, said it was important and not about my parents. We met for coffee near my office. She reached into her bag and set an envelope on the table. She told me my grandmother, her mother, who had passed away 2 years before I went no contact, had left it with her, with instructions. She was supposed to give it to me when I had truly separated from my parents. She said the invoice made it clear that time had come. I opened it. Inside was a handwritten letter on cream stationery, shaky handwriting, dated about 3 months before my grandmother died. She wrote that she had watched how I was treated for years. She wrote that she had tried to say something to my mother, and it had only made things worse. She wrote that she couldn't fix the family, but she could do one thing. She had left me money, directly, through her attorney, in an account my mother had no access to and no knowledge of. She wrote that she was sorry it had taken this form, and that she had always been proud of me, and that she hoped I would use it to build something that was entirely mine. I unfolded the second sheet. It was a letter from her attorney confirming the account. $50,000 sitting there for 2 years waiting. Their lawyer sent me a bill for $47,000. My grandmother left me $50,000 3 12 hours. I framed the invoice.